hopefully everyone gets it. Like, it's not supposed to be inappropriate or anything. But yeah, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to the stream, everybody. We're gonna finish. Still not done with this book. Okay, we're done with The Hobbit, but it still has a chapter of The Lord of the Rings, which we are not quite done reading. But inshallah, today we will. Hello, Queen. Welcome back to the stream. How you been? Hope you've been good. Let me get some lotion for my hands. It's so dry. Hello. Hi, Isaiah Cruz. How you been? Welcome back. Good? Very good. If you're good, I'm good, Queen. Today we have Junie. I also have Yuki here. I don't know why he's sitting so far on the edge. But yeah. I can't wait to read the book that I've been saying for a while now. I want to read after this one. But I think today we might go to the library. I'm going to try to convince Iron Kid to go to the library with me. Just because we're already going outside today. We're going to get some food, go to the lake, all that jazz. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Abdul Khaliq. Welcome back to the stream. How's it going? But something happened. I just didn't know if I should say it because, like, you know, you're not really a fan of the LGBTQ plus thing. Yeah, you're right about that. If you don't want to share it, that's fine. If you think, you know, it's not worth mentioning, or if you really want to say, you can. I'm not gonna, you know, disregard anything that you have to say, but you already know the drill, right? Like, we don't promote that on this channel. But, yeah, I'm not gonna judge you or anything, if you want to say anything. Woke up for Fajr and got your notification. What a way to begin the day. Wow, subhanAllah. Allah accept your Fajr prayer. And yeah, make sure to remember to do your morning adhkar and all the things that you need to do. You know, Fajr time is like the morning time that's like blessed. You know, blessed time to read Quran. So be sure to do that, inshallah. Alright, let's continue. So I forgot where it stopped. I think... When every guest had been welcomed... Wait, 6:30. And there was also one last surprise. And he whizzed 3 times over the heads of the crowd. They all ducked and many fell flat on their faces. The dragon passed like an express train, turned a somersault, and burst over Bywater with a deafening explosion. That is the signal for supper, said Bilbo. The pain and alarm vanished at once, and the prostrate hobbits leapt to their feet. There was a splendid supper for everyone, that is, except those invited to the special family dinner party. This was held in the great pavilion with the tree. The invitations were limited to 12 dozen, a number also called by the hobbits one gross, though the word was not considered proper to use of people, and the guests were selected from all the families to which Bilbo and Frodo were related, with the addition of a few special unrelated friends such as Gandalf. Many young hobbits were included and present by parental permission, for hobbits were easygoing with their children in the matter of sitting up late, especially when there was a chance of getting them a free meal. Bringing up young hobbits took a lot of provender. What is provender? Let me see. Okay, so I kind of liked my friend for a little bit now, and yesterday she said that she liked me. By the way, she knew I liked her, and now she's calling me pet names. So does that, like, mean she thinks we're together? No, I think she's just being friendly. Like, pet names does not mean anything, you know. You shouldn't ruin something that's just friendly with something that's not platonic. That's just what I think. Yep, totally agree. Thanks for the reminder. Allah reward you with more. I mean, thank you so much. Cause I don't want to be with her. Okay, yeah, that's good. If you don't want to be with her like that, make sure to communicate and be very clear about that. Otherwise, she might continue. You don't like that, right? if you don't want to be with her, yeah, you should. If you can't get yourself to like communicate it, yeah, try to distance yourself. But she will notice though. She's been too close. She's been calling me love and darling. That could be in a platonic way too. You don't have to think of it in that sense. But if you have that inkling feeling that she's saying that in a non-platonic way, make sure to address that. Michelle will. There were many Bagginses and Boffins, and also many Tooks and Brandybucks. There was various Grubbs relations of Bilbo Baggins' grandmother, and various Chubbs connections of his Took grandfather, and a selection of Burrowses, Bulgars, Brace Girdles, Brockhouses, Goodbodies, Hornblowers, and Proudfoots. Some of these were only very distantly connected with Bilbo, and some had hardly ever been in Hobbiton before, as they lived in remote corners of the Shire. The Sackville Bagginses were not forgotten. Otho and his wife Lobelia were present. They disliked Bilbo and detested Frodo, but so magnificent was the invitation card written in golden ink that they had felt it was impossible to refuse. Besides, their cousin Bilbo had been specializing in food for many years, and his table had a high reputation. Ooh, delicious. All the 144 guests expected a pleasant feast, though they rather dreaded the after-dinner speech of their host, an inevitable item. He was liable to drag in bits of what he called poetry, and sometimes after a glass or two would allude to the absurd adventures of his mysterious journey. The guests were not disappointed. They had a very pleasant feast, and in fact an engrossing entertainment. Rich, abundant, varied, and prolonged. The purchase of provisions fell almost to nothing throughout the district in the ensuing weeks, but as Bilbo's catering had depleted the stocks of most of the stores, cellars, and warehouses for miles around, that did not matter much. After the feast, more or less, came the speech. Most of the company were, however, not in a tolerant mood at the delightful stage which they called filling up the corners. They were sipping their favorite drinks and nibbling at their favorite dainties, and their fears were forgotten. They were prepared to listen to anything and to cheer at every full stop. It sounds like Jenna, bro. Hey, Jory, I forgot to ask, how did the interview go? It was pretty unprofessional, I'm not gonna lie. Like, they didn't say you're hired or anything. They just called me. They're like, oh, can you come in? I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't even know if they were gonna pay me or anything. I had to ask and make sure. They're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, in the, like, overall sense, it went well, alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for asking. Hello, Leah. Welcome back to the stream. How's it going? Hey, Jory, why can't it be me? Can't it be you? What does that mean? I'm hanging out with her today, so I can talk about it to her then. Yeah, that's good. Good call, Queen. I thought your profile picture was Miku. What is that? Oh, Miku. Yeah, I know what you mean. Jory, you went to a job interview. I did! Isaiah Cruz, after all that. Remember? I was like whining and like complaining, and then now it's me. Was this your first interview? It was. It was so scary, bro. Like, the job is really. It doesn't pay at all. I don't even work many days. Like, they have to call for me to go. It's just for one summer until my classes start in August. Well, my summer class already started, but, you know. Yay, no more chud. Not completely. I'm still a chud, just like halfway. But, yeah, I could say now I'm employed. Alhamdulillah. Hi, hello, Steph Mad G-Wick. How's it going? Welcome back to the stream. Or not back. Welcome to the stream. I haven't seen you before. How has your day been? We're just reading The Fellowship of the Ring, which is the chapter that's like the next book after The Hobbit. I finished The Hobbit, but we're just reading this right now. Good, very good. If you're good, I'm good. Alright, let's continue. So, my dear people, began Bilbo, rising in his place. Hear, 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 they shouted, and kept on repeating it in chorus, seeming reluctant to follow their own advice. Bilbo left his place and went and stood on a chair until under the illuminated tree. The light of the lanterns fell on his beaming face. The golden buttons shone on his embroidered silk waistcoat. They could all see him standing, waving one hand in the air. The other was in his trouser pocket. My dear Bagginsies and Boffins, he began again, and my dear Tooks and Brandybucks and Grubs and Chubs and...
Yeah.
Yeah?
Can you translate this for me?
Yeah,
Or
sure.
are you busy?
Yeah, I'm just reading.
Okay, so I'm gonna forward this and translate it in English, in Bengali and send it to you. Okay.
Do you have Google Translate?
Uh,
Do you know
no,
how to download it?
no.
Okay. Oh, you don't need the thing. You can also use this.
Right here, Google.
Yeah, so you enter the text here,
Huh?
and then
Okay, show me from the beginning.
you just go to Google Translate, like,
Okay, translate for me, please.
okay.
You guys are too fast. I can't even see.
I'm sorry. So you go from English, you want to go to that.
Bengali?
Yeah, and then you put in the text like this. You
The whole
copy
thing?
it, yeah, and you put it in here,
Okay,
and then it translates it here.
okay, and then bring the translation.
And then you press this button here, or not that. This one,
Mm-hmm.
and then you paste it,
Okay, paste it.
and then it sits.
That's it?
Yeah.
Done?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course.
See, I'm learning. I don't even know how to do it. Okay, thank you.
So cool. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. I had to help my dad. Okay, so what was I saying? Mabruk, you got the job, mashallah. Thank you. Yes, I did. You know those walnut things that you twirl around in your hands and after years they become red from like the sap or something? I don't know what those are, but it sounds like a seed of some sort. I really want to get those. Okay. And can you buy it somewhere, or is it just like you find outside? What place though? Is that Gangle? I heard something and I'm not gonna talk about it because I know you want to stay incognito about it. But no, this I know something. Oh yeah, my dad just exposed me. It's fine though. It's not. It's nothing. Anyways. So my dear Bagginsies and Boffins, he began again. My dear Tooks and Brandybucks and Grubs and Chubs and Burrowsies and Hornblowers and Bulgers, Brace Girdles, Good Bodies, Broadhouses, and Proudfoots. Proud feet! Shouted an elderly hobbit from the back of the pavilion. His name, of course, was Proudfoot and well merited. His feet were large, exceptionally furry, and both were on the table. Oh my god. Proudfoots, repeated Bilbo. Also, my good Sackville Bagginsies that I welcome back at last to Bag End. Today is my 111th birthday. I'm 11 today. Hooray, hooray, many happy returns, they shouted, and they hammered joyously on the tables. Bilbo was doing splendidly. This was the sort of stuff they liked, short and obvious. I hope you are all enjoying yourselves as much as I am. Deafening cheers. Cries of yes and no, noises of trumpets and horns, pipes and flutes, and other musical instruments. There were, as had been said, many young hobbits present. Hundreds of musical crackers had been pulled. Most of them bore the mark Dale on them, which did not convey much to most of the hobbits, but they all agreed they were marvelous crackers. They contained instruments, small but of perfect make and enchanting tones. Indeed, in one corner, some of the young Tooks and Brandybucks supposing Uncle Bilbo to have finished since he had plainly said all that was necessary, now got up an impromptu orchestra and began a merry dance tune. Master Everard Took and Miss Melila Brandybuck got on the table and with bells in their hands began to dance the Springle Ring, a pretty dance but rather vigorous. I'm hungry. Why are you always hungry, Queen? I hope you get something good to eat, like a healthy thing, not like Starbucks or McDonald's. I seen some for 30K. I think you buy it. 30K? What? All I heard was translation, but they sell for a fortune. The rest I couldn't really make. I'm hungry. So Queen, what's up the sky? I was gonna ask if you're hungry, but you already told us. We're actually where I am right now, the roof. Why are you on the roof, Queen? That's dangerous. Hope you're safe. It's like our minds are running on the same wavelength. Okay. But Bilbo had not finished. Seizing a horn from a youngster nearby, he blew 3 loud hoots. The noise subsided. I shall not keep you long, he cried. Cheers from all the assembly. I have called you all together for a purpose. Something in the way that he said this made an impression. There was something. There was almost silence, and one or two of the Tooks pricked up their ears. Indeed, for 3 purposes. First of all, to tell you that I am immensely fond of you all, and that 11 years is too short a time to live among such excellent and admirable hobbits. Tremendous outbursts of approval. I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. This was unexpected and rather difficult. There was some scattering clappings, but most of them were trying to work it out and see if it came to a compliment. Secondly, to celebrate my birthday, cheers again, I should say our birthday, for it is, of course, also the birthday of my heir and nephew, Frodo. He comes of age and into his inheritance today. Some perfunctory clapping by the elders and some loud shouts of Frodo, Frodo, jolly old Frodo come from the juniors. The Sackville Bagginses scowled and wondered what was meant by coming into his inheritance. Together we score 144. Your number 144. So 111 plus 44. Oh yeah, Frodo's 33 here. Your numbers were chosen to fit this remarkable total. 1 gross, if I may use the expression. No cheers. This was ridiculous. Most of the guests, and especially the Sackville Bagginses, were insulted, feeling sure they had only been asked to fill up the required number, like goods in a package. 1 gross indeed, vulgar expression. It is also, if I may be allowed to refer to ancient history, the anniversary of my arrival by barrel at Esgaroth on the Long Lake, though the fact that it was my birthday slipped my memory on that occasion. I was only 51 then, and birthdays did not seem so important. The banquet was very splendid, however, though I had a bad cold at the time, I remember, and could only say thank you very much. I now repeat it more correctly. Thank you very much for coming to my little party. Obstinate silence. They all feared that a song or some poetry was now imminent, and they were getting bored. Why couldn't he stop talking and let them drink his health? But Bilbo did not sing or recite. He paused for a moment. Thirdly and finally, he said, I wish to make an announcement. He spoke this last word so loudly and suddenly that everyone sat up who still could. I regret to announce that, though, as I said, 11 years is far too short a time to spend among you. This is the end. I'm going. I'm leaving. Now, goodbye. He stepped out and vanished. There was a blinding flash of light, and the guests all blinked. When they opened their eyes, Bilbo was nowhere to be seen. 144 flabbergasted hobbits sat back speechless. Old Odo Proudfoot removed his feet from the table and stepped. Then there was a dead silence until suddenly, after several deep breaths, every Baggins, Boffin, Took, Brandybuck, Grub, Chubb, Burrows, Bulger, Bracegirdle, Brockhouse, Goodbody, Hornblower, and Proudfoot began to talk at once. It was generally agreed that the joke was in a very bad taste, and more food and drink were needed to cure the guests of shock and annoyance. He's mad, I always said so. Was probably the most popular comment. Even the Tooks, with a few exceptions, thought Bilbo's behavior was absurd. For the moment, most of them took it for granted that his disappearance was nothing more than a ridiculous prank. But old Rory Brandybuck was not so sure. Neither age nor an enormous dinner had clouded his wits, and he said to his daughter-in-law, Esmeralda, There's something fishy in this, my dear. I believe that Mad Baggins is off again. Silly old fool. But why worry? He hasn't taken the victuals with him. He called loudly to Frodo to send the wine round again. It's 8:44 a.m. here. Oh wow, it's pretty early. Oh no, I need prayers. I have to go in 10 minutes. Okay, 8:44. That's fine. Morning. Yeah, makes sense why you're hungry. You didn't have breakfast. It's 12 degrees Celsius in Australia is sunny, but in India it's cold. Such is the mystery of geography. Oh yeah. Yep. How are you? Is that 10 to 20 years to sell for thousands? You know, you should instead of the walnut thing, you should try making Dorodango. Like, you know, the thing that I tried to do in a previous live stream. Like, you take clay, sand, water, and then you shape it into a ball with like a cup or something, and then you just keep doing it until it polishes. Like, it's so cool. It's like it makes the best gift. It's meditative. It's so cool, like, to just look at and feel and stuff, and just like, man, you know, in Japan it sells for like $600 too if you make it really good. What do you like to eat for breakfast though? Nobody's toast or cereal. Yeah, avocado toast is good. Okay, so let's continue. Frodo was the only one present who had said nothing. For some time he had sat silent beside Bilbo's empty chair and ignored all remarks and questions. He had enjoyed the joke, of course, even though he had been in the know. He had difficulty in keeping from laughter at the indignant surprise of the guests, but at the same time he felt deeply troubled. He realized suddenly that he loved the old hobbit dearly. Most of the guests went on eating and drinking and discussing Bilbo Baggins's oddities, past and present. But the Sackville Bagginses had already departed in wrath. Frodo did not want to have any more to do with the party. He gave orders for more wine to be served. Then he got up and drained his own glass silently to the health of Bilbo, and slipped out of the pavilion. As for Bilbo Baggins, even while he was making his speech, he had been fingering the golden ring in his pocket, his magic ring that he had kept secret for so many years. As he stepped down, he slipped it on his finger, and he was never seen by any hobbit in Hobbiton again. He walked briskly back to his hole and stood for a moment silent, a moment listening with a smile to the din in the pavilion and to the sounds of merrymaking in the other parts of the field. Then he went in. He took off his partly clothes, folded up and wrapped in tissue paper his embroidered silk waistcoat, and put it away. Then he put on quickly some old untidy garments and fastened round his waist a worn leather belt. On it he hung a short sword in a battered black leathered scabbard. From a locked drawer smelling of mothballs, oh wow, such details that I feel like I'm in there. He took out his old cloak and hood. They had been locked up as if they were very precious, but they were so patched and weather stained that their original color could hardly be guessed. It might have been dark green. They were rather too large for him. He then went into his study and from a large, strong box, took a bundle wrapped in old clothes and leather-bound manuscript, and also a large, bulky envelope. The book the book and bundle he stuffed into the top of a heavy bag was standing there, already nearly full. Into the envelope he slipped his golden ring and its fine chain, and then sealed it and addressed it to Frodo. At first he put it on the mantelpiece, but suddenly he removed it and stuck it in his pocket. At that moment the door opened and Gandalf came quickly in. "Hello," said Bilbo. "I wondered if you would turn up." "I'm glad to find you visible," replied the wizard, sitting down in a chair. "I want to catch you and a few final words. Catch you and have a few final words. I suppose you feel that everything has gone off splendidly and according to plan?" "Yes, I do," said Bilbo, though that flash was surprising. "It quite startled me, let alone the others. A little addition of your own, I suppose." "It was. You have wisely kept that ring secret all these years, and it seemed to me necessary to give your guests something else that would seem to explain your sudden vanishment, and would spoil my joke." "You're interfering, old busybody," laughed Bilbo, "but I expect you know best, as usual." "I do, when I know anything, but I don't feel too sure about this whole affair. It has not come to the final point. You have had your joke and alarmed or offended most of your relations, and given whole Shire something to talk about for 9 days, or 99 more likely. Are you going any further?" "Yes, I am. I feel I need a holiday, a very long holiday, as I have told you before. Probably a permanent holiday. I don't expect I shall return. In fact, I don't mean to, and I have made all arrangements. I am old, Gandalf. I don't look it, but I'm beginning to feel it in my heart of hearts. Well preserved, indeed," he snorted. "Why, I feel all thin, sort of stretched, if you know what I mean, like butter that has been scraped over too much bread. That can't be right. I need a change or something. Gandalf looked curious and closely at him. No, it does not seem right, he said thoughtfully. No, after all, I believe your plan is probably best. Well, I've made up my mind anyway. I want to see mountains again, Gandalf. Mountains. And then find somewhere where I can rest in peace and quiet without a lot of relatives prying around and a string of confounded visitors hanging on the bell. I might find somewhere where I can finish my book. I've thought of a nice ending for it, and he lived happily ever after to the end of his days. Gandalf laughed. I hope he will, but nobody will read the book however it ends. Oh, they may in years to come. Frodo has read some already, as far as it has gone. You'll keep an eye on Frodo, won't you? Yes, I will. 2 eyes, as often as I can spare them. He would come with me, of course, if I asked him. In fact, he offered to once, just before the party, but he did not really want to yet. I want to see the wild country again before I die. And the mountains, but he's still in love with the Shire, with woods and fields and little rivers. He ought to be comfortable here. I'm leaving everything to him, of course, except a few oddments. I hope he will be happy when he gets used to being on his own. It's time he will be his own master. He was his own master now. Everything? Said Gandalf. The ring as well? You agreed to that, you remember. Well, yes, I suppose to, stammered Bilbo. Where is it? It's in an envelope, if you must know, said Bilbo impatiently. There, on the mantelpiece. Well, no, here. It is in my pocket, he hesitated. Isn't that odd now? He said softly to himself. Yet, after all, why not? Why shouldn't it stay there? Gandalf looked again very hard at Bilbo, and there was a gleam in his eyes. I think, Bilbo, he said quietly, I should leave it behind. Don't you want to? Well, yes and no. Now it comes to it, I don't like parting with it at all, I may say, and I don't really see why I should. Why do you want me to? He asked, and a curious change came over his voice. It was sharp with a suspicion and annoyance. You're always badgering me about my ring, but you have never bothered me about the other things that I've got on my journey. No, but I had to badger you, said Gandalf. I wanted the truth. It was important. Magic rings are, well, magical, and they are rare and curious. I was professionally interested in your ring, you may say, and I still am. I should like to know where it is if you go wandering again, and I think you have had it quite long enough. You won't need it anymore, Bilbo, unless I am quite mistaken. Bye. Okay, take care, Abdul Khalik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi or wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi. See you later as well. Mabruk again for the job. Thank you. 33 people like me enough to sub to me. That's crazy. Whoa, nice, Queen. I mean, without any videos uploaded or what? But yeah, that's cool. You have 33 subscribers. I should be 33 now, I guess. Oh, you're talking about him. Nice. Try doing it. Start small and God willingly you will become large. I have subscribed to you. Nice. Probably art, edits, and food. Oh yeah, that sounds really nice. The food especially, like, because you're hungry all the time, like you could do cooking and stuff. There's cereal that I've been obsessed with right now. It's called Special K, and it's like cornflakes, whatnot, you know. Oh yeah, I think I've had those. Those are good. Yeah, without any videos. Cool, that's so cool, Queen. I don't know how you got so many subscribers. That's awesome. I feel like you do better than me because I stream so much. I'm only at 1K, like compared to 33 without videos. That's very nice. Okay. Bilbo flushed, and there was an angry light in his eyes. His kindly face grew hard. Why not? He cried. And what business is it of yours anyway to know what I do with my own things? It is my own. I found it. It came to me. Yes, said Gandalf, but there's no need to get angry. If I am, it is your fault, said Bilbo. It is mine, I tell you, my own, my precious, my precious. The wizard's face remained grave and attentive, and only a flicker in his deep eyes showed that he was startled and indeed alarmed. It has been called that before, he said, but not by you. But I say it now, and why not? Even if Gollum said the same once, it's not his now, but mine, and I shall keep what I say. Gandalf stood up. He spoke sternly. You will be a fool if you do, Bilbo, he said. You make that clearer with every word you say. It has got far too much hold on you. Let it go, and then you can go yourself and be free. I'll do as I choose and go as I please, said Bilbo obstinately. Now, my dear hobbit, said Gandalf. All your long life we have been best friends, and you owe me something. Come, do as you promised. Give it up. Well, if you want my ring yourself, say so," cried Bilbo. "But you won't get it. I won't give my precious away, I tell you." His hand strayed in his hilt of his small sword, to the hilt of his small sword. Gandalf's eyes flashed. "It will be my turn to get angry soon," he said. Oh, shoot! Gandalf getting angry, that's scary. "If you say that again, I shall. Then you will see Gandalf the Great uncloaked." Oh, uncloaked? Oh, dear, you must have like 12 packs under there. He took a step towards the hobbit, and he seemed to grow tall and menacing. His shadow filled the little room. Bilbo backed away to the wall, breathing hard, his hand clutching at his pocket. They stood for a while facing one another, and the air of the room tingled. Gandalf's eyes remained bent on the hobbit. Slowly his hands relaxed, and he began to tremble. "I don't know what has come over you, Gandalf," he said. "You have never been like this before. What is it all about? It is mine, isn't it? I found it, and Gollum would have killed me if I hadn't kept it. I'm not a thief, whatever he said." "I've never called you one," Gandalf answered, "and I'm not one either. I'm not trying to rob you, but to help you. I wish you would trust me as you used." He turned away, and the shadow passed. He seemed to dwindle again to an old gray man, bent and troubled. Bilbo drew his hand over his eyes. "I'm sorry," he said, "but I felt so queer, and yet it would be a relief in a way not to be bothered with it anymore. It had been so growing on my mind lately. Sometimes I have felt it was like an eye looking at me, and I'm always wanting to put it on and disappear, don't you know? Or wondering if it is safe and pulling out to make sure. I tried locking it up, but I found I couldn't rest without it in my pocket." Bro, that sounds like my phone. Oh my god, that literally, like, the thing that he's describing, like, it's like an eye looking at me. Like, that's the camera on the phone, bro. That's like the CIA looking at us. I almost dropped my phone, but I clutched by catching it. No, bro. That sounds like Bilbo and his ring. Caca. Nice. I don't know why, and I don't seem able to make up my mind. But I think this is how he gives it to Frodo to throw it in the lava of something. Man, this chapter is pretty long, huh? Like, I've been reading for half an hour and it's still not done. And I already started from before. Anyways, should I take a little break here? Should I continue? How you been, Queen? Or are you the only person here? It makes sense though that you're the only person after our Khadik left, because like I don't usually stream at this time. I'm so hungry though. You're right, Queen. Like, you didn't eat when you woke up. I didn't eat either. It's 4 p.m. I didn't eat since I woke up. But then again, I woke up 2 hours ago. Also, I slept after 8 a.m. though. Like, my bedtime is 8 a.m. That's crazy. What should I eat? Actually, no. I have to go with my sister T. I wonder if she's getting ready. I should check up on her. Let me see. Okay. So her door is locked. That means she's probably getting ready. Until she is, we'll keep reading. Ready?
No, I'm gonna pray in the air.
Okay. So then, trust mine, said Gandalf. It is quite made up. Go away and leave it behind. Stop possessing it. Give it to Frodo, and I will look after him. Bilbo stood for a moment, tense and undecided. Presently, he sighed. All right, he said with an effort. I will. Aw, Bilbo, good job. Then he shrugged his shoulders and smiled rather ruefully. What does ruefully mean? After all, that's what this party business was all about, really, to give away lots of birthday presents and somehow make it easier to give it away at the same time. It hasn't made it any easier in the end, but it would be a pity to waste all my preparations. It would quite spoil the joke. Indeed, it would take away the only point I ever saw in the affair, said Gandalf. Very well, said Bilbo. It goes to Frodo with all the rest. He drew a deep breath. And now, I really must be starting, or somebody else will catch me. I have said goodbye, and I couldn't bear to do it all over again. He picked up his bag and moved to the door. You still got the ring in your pocket, said the wizard. Well, so I have, cried Bilbo, and my will and all the other documents too. You had better take it and deliver it for me. You had better take it and deliver it for me. That will be safest. No, don't give the ring to me, said Gandalf. Put it on the mantelpiece. It will be safe enough there till Frodo comes. I shall wait for him. Bilbo took out the envelope, but just as he was about to set it by the clock, his hand jerked back and the packet fell on the floor. Before he could pick it up, the wizard stooped and seized it and set it in its place. A spasm of anger passed swiftly over the hobbit's face again. Suddenly, it gave way to a look of relief and a laugh. Well, that's that, he said. Now I'm off. They went out into the hall. Bilbo chose his favorite stick from the stand. Then he whistled. 3 dwarves came out of different rooms where they had been busy. Is everything ready? Asked Bilbo. Everything packed and labeled? Everything, they answered. Well, let's start then. He stepped out of the front door. It was a fine night, and the black sky was dotted with stars. He looked up, sniffing the air. What fun! What fun to be off again, off on the road with the dwarves. This is what I have been really longing for years. Goodbye, he said, looking at his old home and bowing to the door. Goodbye, Gandalf. Goodbye for the present, Bilbo. Take care of yourself. You are old enough and perhaps wise enough. Take care. I don't care. Don't you worry about me. I am as happy now as I have ever been, and that is saying a great deal. But the time has come. I am being swept off my feet at last, he added, and then in a low voice, as if to himself, he sang softly in the dark. The road goes ever on and on, down from the door where it began. Now far ahead the road has gone, and I must follow it if I can, pursuing it with eager feet until it joins some larger way where many paths and errands meet, and whither then I cannot say. He paused silent for a moment, then without another word he turned away from the lights and voices in the fields and tents, and followed by his 3 companions went round into his garden and trotted down the long sloping path. He jumped over a low place in the hedge at the bottom and took to the meadows, passing into the night like a rustle of wind in the grass. Gamble and bet it all and read, trust me, no time for book gamble. See, even the cat is tired of you reading, you need to gamble. Hi Herda, that's funny. Welcome to the stream, how's it going? The cats are, yeah, they're definitely bored, so they're all sleeping. But, yeah, how's your day been? 008 Herda. Gambling is literally like the ring that Bilbo possesses. Like, you don't want to give it up. My cat encouraged me to gamble. It's my cat's fault, not mine. That's a lack of accountability. That's low emotional intelligence. Is that what it's called? Yeah. Frodo came in soon afterwards. And wait, did I read that? Gandalf remained for a while, staring after him into the darkness. Goodbye, my dear Bilbo. Until our next meeting, he said softly, and went back indoors. Frodo came in soon afterwards, and found him sitting in the dark, deep in thought. Has he gone? He asked. Yes, answered Gandalf. He has gone at last. I hoped until this evening that it was only a joke. And said Frodo, but I knew in my heart that he really meant to go. He always used to joke about serious things. I wish I had come back sooner just to see him off. I think really he preferred slipping off quietly in the end, said Gandalf. Don't be too troubled. He'll be all right now. Now, he left a packet for you. There it is. Frodo took the envelope from the mantelpiece and glanced at it, but did not open it. You'll find his will and all the other documents in there, I think, said the wizard. You are the master of Bag End now, and also I fancy you'll find a golden ring. The ring! Exclaimed Frodo. Has he left me that? I wonder why. Still, it may be useful. It may and it may not, said Gandalf. I should not make use of it, if I were you. But keep it secret and keep it safe. Now I'm going to bed. Yes, Judge, I broke all the speed laws, but it's my cat's fault. I wish he would gamble. Okay, now I'm interested in this book. I've woken up to reality. Wow, nice! Nice to hear that, Herda. This is actually the Fellowship of the Ring, which is the book, the first chapter that Tolkien put after The Hobbit. It's like a Uh, what's the antonym of prequel? I forgot. The following book, but yeah. As master of Bagan, Frodo felt in his painful duty to say goodbye to the guests. Rumors of strange events had by now spread all over the field, but Frodo would only say no doubt everything will be cleared up in the morning. About midnight, carriages came for the important folk. One by one, they rolled away, filled with full but very unsatisfied hobbits. Oh, okay. Gardeners came by arrangement and removed in wheelbarrows those that had inadvertently remained behind. Night slowly passed. The sun rose. The hobbits rose rather later. Morning went on. People came and began by orders to clear away the pavilion and the tables and the chairs and the spoons and knives and bottles and plates and the lanterns and the flowering shrubs and boxes and the crumbs and cracker paper, the forgotten bags and gloves and handkerchiefs and the uneaten food, a very small item. Then a number of other people came without orders, Bagginses and Boffins and Bulgars, and took some other guests that lived or were staying near. By midday, when even the best fed were out and about again, there was a large crowd at Bagan, uninvited but not unexpected. Frodo was waiting at the steps, smiling, but looking rather tired and worried. He welcomed all the callers, but he had not much more to say than before. His reply to all inquiries were simply this: Mr. Bilbo Baggins has gone away, as far as I know, for good. Some of the visitors he invited to come inside, as Bilbo had left messages for them. Inside, in the hall, there was piled a large assortment of packages and parcels and small articles of furniture. On every item there was a label tied. There was several labels of this sort. For Adelard took for his very own from Bilbo on an umbrella. Adelard had carried it off many unlabeled ones. For Dora Baggins, in memory of a long correspondence with love from Bilbo, on a large waste paper basket. Dora was Drogo's sister and the eldest surviving female relative of Bilbo and Frodo. She was 99 and had written reams of good advice for more than half a century. For Milo Burrows, hoping it will be useful, from BB, Bilbo Baggins, on a gold pen and ink bottle. Milo never answered letters. For Angelica's use, from Uncle Bilbo, on a round convex mirror. She was a young Baggins, and too obviously considered her face shapely. For the collection of Hugo Bracegirdle, from a contributor, on an empty bookcase. Hugo was a great borrower of books, and worse than usual at returning them. For Lobelia Sackville Baggins, and as a present on a case of silver spoons, Bilbo believed that she had acquired a good many of his spoons while he was away on his former journey. Lobelia knew that quite well. When she arrived later in the day, she took the point at once, but she also took the spoons. Oh my god, Lobelia. This is only a small selection of the assembled presents. Bilbo's residence had got rather cluttered up with things in the course of his long life. It was a tendency of hobbit holes to get cluttered up, for which the custom of giving so many birthday presents was largely responsible. Not, of course, that the birthday presents were always new. There were one or two old madams of forgotten uses that had circulated all around the district, but Bilbo had usually given new presents and kept those that he received. The old hole was now being cleared a little. Every one of the various parting gifts had labels written out personally by Bilbo, and several had some point or some joke. But of course, most of the things were given where they would be wanted and welcome. The poor hobbits, and especially those of Bagshot Row, did very well. Old Gaffer Gamgee got 2 sacks of potatoes, a new spade, a woolen waistcoat, and a bottle of ointment for creaking joints. Old Rory Brandybuck, in return for much hospitality, got a dozen bottles of old Wynyards, a strong red wine from the South Farthing, and now quite mature, as it had been laid down by Bilbo's father. Rory quite forgave Bilbo and voted him a capital fellow after the first bottle. There was plenty of everything left for Frodo, and of course all the chief treasures, as well as the books, pictures, and more than enough furniture were left in his possession. There was, however, no sign nor mention of money or jewelry. Not a penny piece or a glass bead was given away. Nutella toast, yes. Ooh, yummy. I made Nutella toast. Nice. I know, not the healthiest. No, it's fine. You don't have to be healthy 24/7. His replies to all inquiries were simply this. All my hobbits gamble now. I wanted something nutty, but I didn't have peanut butter. Oh, good, thanks. This book was amazing. It got me into gambling. The hobbits are good people. I know, right, bro? Like I couldn't live in a hobbit hole. Like, it sounds really cozy, but I like minimalistic stuff, you know? Like, they have so much clutter and things, like, from all the gifts that they give for every birthday. So they get, like, 2 gifts a week. But it's good. I mean, they are really good people, so makes sense. Frodo was very trying time that Frodo had a very trying time that afternoon. A false rumor that the whole household was being distributed free spread like wildfire. And before long, the place was packed with people who had no business there but could not be kept out. Labels got torn off and mixed and quarrels broke out. But some people tried to do swaps and deals in the hall, and others tried to make off with minor items not addressed to them, or with anything that seemed unwanted or unwatched. Okay, so what's it called? They're trying to trade when neither of them who's trading and being traded to owned anything. Like, this is so funny. Sorry, I can't help. I'm obsessed. The cat is stretching. Such a cute cat. Thank you. There's Yuki, and the one in the back is named Junie. Short for Junie B. Jones, if you know that book. And yeah, that's short for Juniper. That's like me with my crushes. Crushes? Wait, what is like you and your crushes? Like, the fact that neither of them have business in the Hobbit hole, but they're both still trading. Okay. The road to the gate was blocked with barrows and handcarts. In the middle of the commotion, the Sackville Bagginses arrived. Frodo had retired for a while and left his friend Merry Brandybuck to keep an eye on things. When Otto loudly demanded to see Frodo, Merry bowed politely. "He's indisposable," he said. "He's resting." "Hiding, you mean," said Lobelia. "Anyway, we want to see him, and we mean to see him. Just go and tell him so." So they want to see Frodo. Wow, 3 more pages, guys. Obsessed. Oh, okay. Why, that's normal. Be more obsessed with your crushes. Follow them to class. Trust me, I know this stuff. They're in my class. Good. Sit close to them, like very close to leave alone. What is all this advice? What came out of this advice, Herta, since you seem to have followed it? Because crushes is plural. You need only one in the end. Merry left them a long while in the hall, and they had time to discover their parting gifts of spoons. It did not improve their tempers. Eventually, they were shown into the study. Frodo was sitting at a table with a lot of papers in front of him. He looked indisposed to see Sackville Bagginses at any rate, and he stood up, fidgeting with something in his pocket, but he spoke quite politely. Aw, he wanted to disappear. The Sackville Bagginses were rather offensive. They began by offering him bad bargain prices as between friends for various valuable and unlabeled things. When Frodo replied that only the things specially directed by Bilbo were being given away, they said the whole affair was very fishy. "Only one thing is clear to me," said Otto, "and that is that you are doing exceedingly well out of it. I insist on seeing the will." Otto would have been Bilbo's heir, but for the adoption of Frodo. He read the will carefully and snorted. It was unfortunately very clear and correct according to the legal customs of hobbits, which demanded, among other things, 7 signatures of witnesses in red ink. "Foiled again," he said to his wife, and after waiting 60 years. "Spoons? Fiddlesticks!" He snapped his fingers under Frodo's nose and stumped off. But Lobelia was not so easily got rid of. A little later, Frodo came out of the study to see how things were going on, and found her still about the place, investigating nooks and corners and tapping the floors. He escorted her firmly off the premises, after he had relieved her of several small but rather valuable articles that had somehow fallen inside her umbrella. Her face looked as if she was in the throes of thinking out a really crushing parting remark, but all she found to say, turning round on the step, was, "You live to regret it, young fellow. Why didn't you go too? You don't belong here. You're no Baggins. You're a Brandybuck." "Did you hear that, Mary? That was an insult, if you like," said Frodo as he shutted the door on her. "It was a compliment," said Mary Brandybuck, "and so, of course, not true." That's crazy. See, you're getting it. What? It doesn't matter how it's your team, gotta win. Have many crushes and follow them. No, they won't forget you in a bad way. Holy chicken, Juria. Oops, sorry. I probably said that so loudly. Like, that was funny though. So you're apprentice now, right? You're my apprentice. Yeah, I think Queen is your apprentice now. The crush apprentice. How to get your crush 101. Or crushes, plural at that. Then they went round the hole and evicted 3 young hobbits, 2 boffins and a bulgar, who were knocking holes in the walls of one of the cellars. Frodo also had a tussle with the young Sancho Proudfoot, old Odo Proudfoot's grandson, who had begun an excavation in the larger pantry where he thought there was an echo. The legend of Bilbo's gold excited both curiosity and hope, for legendary gold, mysteriously obtained, if not positively ill-gotten, is, as everyone knows, anyone's for the finding, unless the search is interrupted. So why wouldn't they want to come into his house and see if there's any gold left? Even though he gave so many presents away and it was so generous with his gold, and also, like, he fed everyone to the brim, they still want the gold. Like, that's crazy. Assalamu alaikum. Yo, Sarah Mullah, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi. Welcome back to the stream. How's it going? Which cat is this? This is Yuki. And the one in the back is Junie. How's it going, Sarah? I hope you've been good. How old are you, by the way? Just curious. I give top tier advice. I definitely do not lead people into debt or anything. From average rich in one day. It's a sleepy cat. True. Good observation. But what do you actually have debt though? Hurt and gambling. I hope you were joking about those. When he had overcome Sancho and pushed him out, Frodo collapsed on a chair in the hall. "It's time to close the shop, Mary," he said. "Lock the door and don't open it to anyone today, not even if they bring a battering ram." Then he went to revive himself with a belated cup of tea. He had hardly sat down when there came a soft knock at the front door. Lobelia again, most likely, he thought. She must have thought of something really nasty and had come back to say it. He can't wait. He went on with his tea. The knock was repeated, much louder, but he took no notice. Suddenly the wizard's head appeared at the window. "If you don't let me in, Frodo, I shall blow your door right down your hole and out through the hill," he said. "My dear Gandalf, half a minute," cried Frodo, running out of the room to the door. Come in, I thought it was Lobelia. "Then I forgive you. But I saw her some time ago driving a pony trap towards Bywater with a face that would have curdled new milk. She had already nearly curdled me. Honestly, I nearly tried on Bilbo's ring. I longed to disappear." "Don't do that," said Gandalf, sitting down. "Do be careful of that ring, Frodo. In fact, it is partly about that I have come to say a last word." "Well, what about it? What do you know already?" "Only what Bilbo told me. I've heard his story, how he found it and how he used it on his journey, I mean." "Which story, I wonder," said Gandalf. "Oh, not what he told the dwarves and put it in his books," said Frodo. "He told me the true story soon after I came to live here. He said you have pestered him till he told you, so I had better know too. No secrets between us, Frodo," he said. "But they're not going any further. It's mine anyway." "That's interesting," said Gandalf. "Well, what do you think of it all? If you mean inventing all about a president, well, I thought the true story much more likely, and I couldn't see the point of altering it at all. It was very unlike Bilbo to do so anyway, and I thought it rather odd. So did I, but odd things may happen to people that have such treasures if they use them. Let it be a warning to you to be very careful with it. It may have other powers than just making you vanish when you wish to. The last page, guys. Last page of the first chapter of this. I gotta get ready to hang out with my friends. Okay, Queen, take care. Have a fun day out with your friends. Sorry, my religion, we're not allowed to gamble. Yeah, true. It's bad for you. Yes, I'm in crippling debt. I turned 11 4 days ago. Wow, happy birthday, Sarah Mullah. How's it go? I mean, I don't know why I said how's it going, but yeah, congratulations. No money, no job, but at least I can gamble again. Sarah, happy birthday. Did I hear gamble or it was Gandalf? Yeah, it's Gandalf. Thank you, Herda. Stupid Gandalf. Sarah and I'll get into gambling. Sarah's only 11. You want to get her into gambling? How do you gamble without money? Don't you need money to gamble? Like, you can't afford gambling. Don't worry, Sarah. I'm joking. Can I see your cat? Yeah, sure. Bet it all in red, trust me. Wow, red is probably your favorite color, Herda. So, do you want to know something? Your cat only wakes up when you say gamble. Is interesting. That's my homie. I guess so. Maybe he's a gambler. I don't know. He looks like a mafia. I don't understand, said Frodo. Neither do I, answered the wizard. I have merely begun to wonder about the ring, especially since last night. No need to worry, but if you take my advice, you will use it very seldom, or not at all. At least I beg you not to use it in any way that will cause talk or rouse suspicion. I say again, keep it safe and keep it secret. You're very mysterious. What are you afraid of? I'm not certain, so I will say no more. I may be able to tell you something when I come back. I'm going off at once, so this is goodbye for the present. He got up. At once, cried Frodo. Why, I thought you were staying on for at least a week. I was looking forward to your help. I didn't mean to, but I have had my change of mind. I may be away for a good while, but I'll come and see you again as soon as I can. Expect me when you see me. I shall slip in quietly. I shan't often be visiting the Shire openly again. I find that I have become rather unpopular. They say I am a nuisance and a disturber of the peace. Some people are actually accusing me of spiriting Bilbo away, or worse. If you want to know, there's supposed to be a plot between you and me to get hold of his wealth. Some people, exclaimed Frodo. You mean Otto and Lobelia? How abominable! I would give them Bayend and everything else if I could get Bilbo back and go off tramping in the country with him. I love the Shire, but I begin to wish somehow that I had gone too. I wonder if I shall ever see him again. So do I, said Gandalf, and I wonder many other things. Goodbye now. Take care of yourself. Look out for me, especially at unlikely times. Goodbye. Frodo saw him to the door. He gave a final wave of his hand and walked off at a surprising pace. But Frodo thought the old wizard looked unusually bent, almost as if he was carrying a great weight. The evening was closing in, and his cloaked figure quickly vanished into the twilight. Frodo did not see him again for a long time. What is the bent adjective about? Like, why is he bent? Like, is he sad or something? We finished the book officially! Yay! I wonder. The Hobbit thinks too much. I know, right? Wags, take care and watch out for cars. Very dangerous. Who's Wags? Alright. So this is the map of the Misty Mountains. Oh man, I love that song, the Misty Mountains song. Mirkwood, Mountains of Mirkwood, Forest Road, Desolation of Smog, Iron Hill, Long Lake, Esgaroth, Lonely Mountains, Elven King's Hall, Withered Hearth, Edge of the Wild, Hobbiton, Western Lands, Great River of Wilderland. This is incredible how somebody came up with this, like, from their mind, like their brain. Like, nowadays we don't use that part of our brain, like we just like use ChatGPT and stuff, but old books, like, you know, like they didn't copy off anything or anyone. I love this book so much though. It's just, man, it's a classic for a reason. Man, I love reading. Alright, what a nice map. Now show me the gambling casino location. Anyway, you only want to gamble because you want the treasure, like the Hobbit does, to defeat Smaug, but it's bad for you. Do not wear the ring. Listen to Bilbo. Don't wear the money. Alright, guys, thank you for listening and take care. I'm gonna try to see if I can get a hold of the Lord of the Rings book from the library today, just because I bought this book and I don't want to keep buying books, you know. Actually, I should start reading this one, though. I forgot about this until I just saw it right now. But yeah, I'm still trying to get the Lord of the Rings book because I love the series. But maybe after I finish this, I don't know. We'll see. Take care, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. What happens if I wear the ring? Because now I want to wear it. If you wear the ring, you become greedy. You become like, my precious. You start worshipping the ring, and then it takes control of you rather than you controlling, you know, your attachment to the ring. I'm already greedy. True. Joya, where do you live? I'm from California. Bye, Hobbit. Bye, Herda. And thanks for tuning in. And Assalamu alaikum. See you guys in the next one. Assalamu alaikum.